it's Sock again with more math. If you hear noises in the background, it's probably my dogs and or my cat, so just be warned of that. Anyways, let's get on to this problem, which is related to quadrilaterals and parallelograms. My favorite. Okay, so we got all our information on the slopes right there. And on the first slope, we need to find A to B. So first, let's look at y. And then for y, it goes from 4 to 0, which means it went down 4. And then for x, it went from -3 to -1, which means that it went right 2. Okay. We got that slope. So now, we gotta get BC. I know. So for the y's, it went from 0 to 1, which means it's a +1. And then for x's, it went from -1 to +1, which would be, hold on, +2. Hooray. Okay. Now we gotta do CD. So it went from +1, whoa, wrong one. Hello. So for y's, it went from +1 to 5, which means that it went up 4. So +4. And then it went from +1 to -1, which means it went down 2. Yeah. And then final one is A to D. Let's just do this. Okay. So for y's, it went from 4 to 5, which means it went right 1, which is positive. And then for the x's, it went from -3 to -1, which means it went right 2. Up 1, right 2. Okay. Now we got all our slopes. Hooray. I don't know what the options for these are, and I don't feel like going back and checking. I'm just gonna assume. So, I don't know what to go for, how to go to from here. So it looks like these two have basically the same slope. Hold on, wait, I can divide these. So -4 divided by 2 equals -2. And then 4 divided by -2 equals -2. So yeah. Okay. So it looks like these two have the same slope and these two have the same slope, which would make them parallel, I'm pretty sure, and a rectangle. So this is a rectangle. Quadrilateral ABC is so it is a rectangle. There we go. I figured out what this means. Is a rectangle since blank of consecutive sides are perpendicular. Wait. So for it to be perpendicular, it has to be negative reciprocals. But they're not negative reciprocals. They're just the same thing. Don't tell me I'm already struggling. I just got here. Okay. I really don't want to go back to it. Okay, so it's I don't think it is rectangle. Because, like, they're not negative reciprocals. They're the same thing. But it is a parallelogram, since the opposite sides are parallel. Okay. Got that covered. Hooray. Let's go on to the second one and try to ignore the fact that I probably flunked the first one. And parallelogram UVXY W to Y equals 3x minus 9. So W to Y, that's that one. VY equals 54. That would be this one. Okay. UW equals 23. That would be this one. And then finally, ux equals 5y plus 1, which would be this one. This one. Okay, now we have to find the values of x and y. So let's figure this out, fellas. So wy is just half of vy. So let's see. Let's 3x minus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 45. Okay, let's do distributive property, which would get us to 6x minus 18 equals 54. You have to add 18 to both sides, which get you 6y equals, gotta do the math in my head real quick, 72. And then you divide both sides by 6. My cat's hissing at my dog right now. Honey, come here! She's coming. Okay, so then you have to divide both sides by 6, which would be x equals, hi honey, 12. Yeah. So now we got x. And now we need to find y. So let's see, so ux is that whole thing, and then uw is half of that. Okay, so let's 23 times let's times 23 by 2, which would get it to 46 equals 5y plus 1. Okay, let's subtract 1 for both sides. 45 equals 5x. Divide by 5, which would get us to 9 equals y. So there we go. Y equals 9. We got both x and y. Hooray.